right or wrong? People who are in this, who built this country were all whites. They went all the way to Africa, gathered the people, put them into handcuffs and shackles, loaded them up into ships, bring them all the way here, and brought them in this country for what? Slavery. That these will be my slaves and they'll work for me in my farm, in my house, in my places. They will build America. Infrastructure of this country was built by the African American race. And the white man was always the master of these slaves. They had no rights. We all know, I'm talking to the kids, we all know what happens in school. They teach us in American history, they teach us in social studies class, how the civil rights movement fought so hard to win the freedom and liberty that they are enjoying today, alhamdulillah. But what happened? They went through so much struggle. You know, in this country, especially for those who are immigrants, Muslims, who we don't know much about the African American race, but they went through their share of tough life. They went through their agonies and pains and anguishes of all kinds. If you read some of the things, that schools were segregated. Black children cannot go to school where there are white people. Buses were segregated. You cannot ride on a bus. You know Rosa Parks' story. Why is Rosa Parks so famous? Because she was one woman who had the courage and the guts and the audacity of hope to say that, look, treat me equal, don't treat me for the color pigment of my skin. Why can you ride this bus and I cannot ride this bus? Why are you throwing me off? And then comes Dr. Martin Luther King, for which we have this good, great holiday. We just have every holiday every January, and we don't even realize what did he do. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, he inspired the people, he gave them hope, he invigorated the people of his race. That look, we need to demand justice. All they were required or wanting was equality and equal treatment. Justice, adl, fairness, which is the bedrock of Islam. The Quran says that treat people equally. And what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us? That Fir'aun at the time of Egypt did the same thing. He mistreated people. He made groups and sectarianism. He had oppression, dhulm all over the place. He treated people with dhulm and oppression. And they were all depressed. They were mustada'afin. Mustada'af means weak and meek and oppressed and the downtrodden. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here that يَسْتَضْعَفُ طَائِفَةً مِّنْهُمْ Fir'aun makes one party, one group weak. Why? يُذَبِّحُ أَبْنَاهُ وَيَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَهُم He kills the newborn babies of that group, the Bani Israel, and of course he also leaves their women alive. إِنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that verily he is from the transgressor. Then comes the next ayah. This is the ayah that was constantly bugging in my mind as we saw the results coming. That this state is giving votes to this state giving the votes. And I said, Subhanallah, look what Allah says in the Quran. Allah says, وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ What a beautiful ayah. What happened on Tuesday, November 4th in America? Exact replica of this ayah. In this country, the African American race was the downtrodden, the oppressed. The African American race was literally ridiculed and insulted and humiliated. You know, if you read the stories of the civil rights movement, you'll find how oppressed this qawm was. These people who came as abid, and abid in Arabic means slaves. And not just in the true meaning of the word slavery, but they had no rights. Sometimes when you read the stories, literally I cry. We should cry when we read the stories. Like once the story that the blacks, when they went to the market, to the malls, they could not purchase things, they could not try on clothes. You know how today easily with liberty and freedom, you can go to any store like Target and Walmart and Marshalls or whatever, and you put on a clothes, you try a shirt, a sweater, you say, oh, this is not my size, this is my size. Blacks could not do that. You know how easily you go to buy a shoe, you go and try a shoe on your feet, you say, oh, this is small, give me the next size, big size. Blacks could not do that. In that time, if a black person, man or woman, went to a shoe store and they want to try on a shoe, they could not do that. The salesperson, the sales associate would say, here's a cardboard, put your bare feet on the cardboard, take a pencil or a pen, mark size of your feet, cut the cardboard, give me the cardboard, I will put it on each shoe that fits the size of the cardboard, then I will give you the shoe. This is what they went through, brothers and sisters. This is just a small glimpse of it. They went through something more than that. And yes, as they were growing, there were kids also growing like that. There were slaves and they had kids. These slaves had kids. And when the kid sees that my baba, mom, my father, mother are slaves, they have no right. They can't speak openly in front of the white man or white woman. They can't even voice their haqq, their justice. So the kids grow up in what? Oppression, dhulm. The kids grow up with a depression that they cannot truly be their true colors. Many of them did not even go to school. Many of them did not even finish school. Many of them run away from their houses. Many of them started working at age 13, 14. Just imagine what goes through in the mind of a 13-year-old who's not going through school but working, supporting a family, supporting their father and mother, and looking at their father and mother crying because they are a slave. They're not a free person. Brothers and sisters, we have to understand what happened on November 4th is truly a remarkable thing. It was the struggle and the strife of a community who wanted haqq, who wanted justice, who wanted adl, fairness, who wanted equal treatment, who only wanted to struggle to become free in the true meaning of it, not just lip service. The racial bigotry and the animosity against the blacks in this country has been so much. Even today it exists. We saw that. Even today it exists. The 20 months that he ran a campaign, so many whites were trying to do all kinds of tarnishing of the image, maligning, assigning him. And now what is the new racial slur? Before there was the N-word, N for Nancy, you know the N-word. I don't want to say the word, but that was a racial slur in this country. You call a black boy or black woman or black man the N-word, that's a racial discrimination, a racial slur. Today, there's a new word. The N-word has gone into archives in history. It's gone in the closet. It'll be there on the shelves. You can see the old racial slur, N-word. Today, there's a new word. It's the alphabet letter preceding N, which is M, Muslim. Today, Muslim has become a gali, a curse. Today, calling somebody Muslim is a racial slur. It's a discrimination. Oh, he's a Muslim. No, I can't hire him in my company. He's a Muslim. No, he cannot be the firefighter because he's a Muslim. All right? Or don't hang out with those Muslim dudes out there on the street, on 2nd Street or 4th Street, because they'll just teach you how to blow up buildings and blow up bombs. This is what exactly going on. You may be laughing at this, but this is the reality. I talk to so many youth who go to public school, and the animosity and the racial bigotry and the hatred and jealousy that is hidden in the treatment of people. My own son goes to public school. He's in 3rd grade student. And he says in recess time, they don't let him play football in recess time. It's a bunch of whites playing football to each other, and they said, Shahid, why can't you play with them? I said, no, Baba, when I want to play with them, they all just kick me out and say, you stay away from it.